Happy New Year. I got y'all just in time before New Year's. It's 10:52 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, January the 1st, 2026. And we already starting off good for the new year. I don't know about y'all, but mine was good. I hope that y'all's were good. My New Year's Eve was good. My New Year's was greater. One of the best. And it's one of the best. I understand now why they always say the best is yet to come, because that's what I feel like. This is one of the best. I spent it by myself. I did talk to a few people earlier today when New Year's first came in, some family members, but I didn't talk long because, I like to enjoy my moment. All I can say is it was a moment to remember. One that I will take and cherish because I don't know, it was just different. It was different. I did miss some of my loved ones, but not to the point where I was breaking down crying or anything. I think I really handled it really well, and that's because I stayed away from negativity. Hey, but wait a minute, y'all. Welcome to Lovely J Podcast. I just kept talking and talking, didn't tell you where you at. You're listening to Lovely J Podcast with Miss Coco Boughton. Okay, now back to the story. I'm cleaning up now my aftermath. I got to get this up, y'all. I can't take it. Every time I walk in that kitchen and I look back here, I look at the mess I made, because before New Year's, I did a photo shoot with some makeup for Tear Makeup. If you like good foundation, you should try that out. Check out my TikTok, Jamie the Advocate. Get over there and see my showcase. My showcase has all the makeup looks that I wear, all that. Now, when you see me in person, I don't have all that makeup on like that. Y'all got to understand, that's just for my business. That's not for me. For me, I'm laid back. I'm more chilled. I don't feel like I need it all the time. If I wear makeup around here, it's just a little eyeshadow or something. Not eyeshadow, but eyeliner and lip liner. But you won't find me in a full decked out face like I do for those products. Why my eye itching? Okay. So, oh no, I know I ain't trying to get sleepy now. So let me tell y'all, from start to finish, I enjoyed myself, got up, took a nice bath, went to go get things I needed, and came home and cooked. I cooked nachos. I call them cheeseburger nachos because the way I did it was hamburger meat and a slice of cheese, and then just put it over the nachos. And I cooked the hamburger meat down, ground hamburger meat down in with sauteed onions in it. And it tastes just like a cheeseburger off the grill. The only difference is you don't have the bread, you have the meat. So I call it a cheeseburger nacho. The next thing I cooked, well, I didn't cook. I brought some fresh fruit. I wanted to do all the cutting myself. So I brought me a fresh pineapple, 2 fresh pineapples, really. I cut that pineapple down. I got one that I might work on. I might work on it a little bit before I go to bed. I got 2 whole pineapples that you have to cut up yourself, and I did all of that. And y'all, contrary to what you may think, looking at a pineapple is actually soft. It looks so hard on the outside, but really it's a soft fruit. And it's easy to cut because I use dull knives. I don't have any sharp knives in here. I use all dull knives. And I like it that way. Ask me why later. just ask me why later, because right now I don't even want to think about that. But yeah, I did the pineapples. I did strawberries. Cut strawberries down, washed them up, cut them down. That felt good. And what else did I have? Oh, kiwi. I cut down some kiwi, and I had the dip for it. The fruit dip, which is like a cream cheese something, but that fruit dip is always really good. And that was it. That's what I had, and of course I had some Arbor Mist, and I had Arbor Mist, I had the Mexican soda, Gerudo, and I was just back and forth, not drinking to be drunk, just drinking to celebrate and enjoy life and let my hair down and, I've done something that I haven't done in a long time. I just let my hair down. It wasn't, well, not really let my hair down, but you know what I'm saying? I just let myself have fun. I allowed myself to be a woman. I allowed myself to I was still guarded, but allow myself to have fun, a little more chilled than I usually am. So, yeah, it was good, and I laughed a lot. I made videos. I videoed just about everything I did because, when you by yourself, you got to be your own company, right? So you do things like doing videos and things for memories and to keep you busy, keep your mind busy. So you don't think about who didn't think about you or who's passed on and, a lot of bad things, a lot of negativity. If you don't stay busy, negativity will creep up on you. And, that's like, even when I was talking to people last night, I was like, well, talk to me January the 2nd. If you got something that's troubling you, you have to come back January the 2nd because I want to bring this New Year's in this way. And I didn't plan on how I was going to bring it in. I just know 2025 was a hell of a year and I needed to do something different for 2026. And I fought for my peace of mind in 2025. Which really wasn't a fight I didn't have to fight. It really was a battle between God and those people who were doing what they were doing. Once I realized that, things started getting better for me. I started being more accepting of who I was. And instead of trying to look as if I don't do any wrong or if I'm the smartest person in the room, I allow myself to... it's not dummying down, but what's it called? I just allow myself to admit to my faults and my wrongs so that I can be corrected. If I'm wrong, let me know. And, so that's kind of how it was. It was a growing experience for me, 2025. And when 2026 came in, I was like, anything else we need to talk about, we'll talk about that at another time. But right now, I'm trying to get to who I am right now. Who is this person coming into 2026? And I enjoyed myself. So for New Year's today, my dinner was black eyed peas, hog jaw, canned collards. If you want some good tasting canned collards, Glory has some good tasting canned collards, but my biological daddy told me a story about canned food, and it's hard for me to eat canned food at times because of the story he told. He told that story every year just so I wouldn't buy canned foods. I would buy the real thing, like real beans, like real beans, real cabbages, real collards and things because he didn't want to eat them out the can. So he told me that story, and that story just stuck with me in my head. I'll tell you that story one day whenever I feel like mentally wise I can handle that story because I don't want it on my mind. Okay, what's next? What I say? I said I had the black eyed peas, collards. I made some dressing or stuffing. I call it stuffing. It is tomato. This is one of them things for me. But I call it stuffing. I made it the way my biological dad makes his. And that was it. I didn't have nothing fancy, but that was a really good meal. It won't nothing, it was really good to me. I don't know if it was good to anybody else, but to me, it was good. Now, let's see, tomorrow is going to be, in the next hour, is going to be Friday. And for Friday, I don't know what I'm going to have, but I know I did buy some stuff to do. Well, I won't tell it too soon. won't tell that too soon because I don't want my stuff to disappear before I get a chance to make it. So I'm going to hold out on that thought. Getting back to New Year's, it was good. I slept all day. I slept till 3 o'clock this afternoon. And it wasn't because I was tired or anything. I just wanted a break, you know? So I just laid there and I relaxed. And I just laid there and just thought about all the things God has done for me. And, you know, I just wanted to lay in His presence. That's what I did New Year's Eve, too. Is I just put on the prayer shawl and just stayed in His presence, you know. Just really wanted to hear from Him and feel His love. And perhaps that's why I was so happy, because I was like, I know God is with me. And, you know, not for nothing, when you believe that God is with you, your whole household is different. Your whole demeanor is different. It's you just live for what God wants you to do and be. And I enjoy that. And that felt good. And He was with me the whole time. What's left? Now what I'm up doing is trying to clean up some of this damage I made. Because I made a mess. I can make a mess so easy. Sometimes it's me and this. Sometimes it's somebody just coming in doing it. And, you know, it's like sometimes if you don't pay attention, you have certain family members that come in and you know, they do little wicked things. And they want you to know it's them because they want you to know they don't like you. And, you know, I did not miss anybody. I didn't miss anybody. You don't miss people who do things to you. You know, that's just like when it came down to my ex. You know how I stayed gone those 10 years? Because I didn't miss him. I didn't miss that of Bruce. And once you catch on to what people are doing to you, you adjust. It's not easy to adjust, but I don't know. For some people it is. It's easy to adjust. If you like me and you just take people for who they really are to you, you can adjust. It hurts. Don't think it don't hurt, but you can pretty much be like, well, I tried to work it out, and it takes a lot to get me to this point where I don't want to be around you. And once I'm at that point where I don't really care to be around you, I mean, take it for what it's worth. I really don't care. And it's not holding a grudge or anything. It's just that I seen how you treat me, and I don't have to accept that. I don't have to accept that you're trying to treat me like trash or trying to, you know, do things that's ugly, that's wicked, and training kids to do wicked, ugly things. I don't miss people like that. You know, I tell this story on this podcast that if you think about it, over in when they was looking for Bin Laden for doing what he did to the Twin Towers, you know, it was kids they sent to blow up things because they knew people would suspect the adults. So they sent the kids to do the wicked things. Now, did the kids really want to be sacrificed? Nah, them kids didn't want to be sacrificed. But they were forced to be sacrificed, and they were forced into, you know, offering themselves because them kids had them explosives tied to them. And so when the troops would pick up the babies and start trying to save the baby would blow up. And so that's how I look at it. It's not the first time that war has happened. And that's why I can enjoy me by myself, just me and God. Because I see when kids are being used, I see when adults are being used. And I don't want to go to hell for misleading a child or doing something to a child or anybody else. Because I'm a firm believer that heaven is my goal. I don't just sing that now. I believe in that. And that's the way I want to keep it. But I see what I see. And you can't tell nobody how to train their kids or raise their kids, because now they don't want the village no more. Or they want the village only when it's a benefit to them. Other than that, they don't want the village anymore. And it's nothing new to see. And maybe this is something we should talk about in another episode, because it's nothing new to see parents have generational prostitution and sell their children off for what it is they want, temporary. They want things that can get them temporary riches or temporary monies and fames, and they don't mind selling their children because they're not attached to their kids. They'll have kids, but that don't mean they're attached to their kids. That just means that they birthed them. That's just like, no, I won't say that right now. But anyways, my personality type is INFJ. And I was thinking about that because when I first started doing Kiva, the first thing that I was doing was the personality traits and things. And we all took personality tests, and I still take personality tests, and mine still is INFJ. And I'm going to tell you what it means. It means, stands for introverted, intuitive, feeling, judging. One of the 16 personality types from the Myers-Briggs type indicator, also known as the advocate or the counselor. Oh, that's what my name is on TikTok, Jamie the Advocate. INFJs are empathetic, idealistic, and insightful visionaries who seek deep meaning and strive to help others and make the world a better place, often balancing their need for solitude, introverted, with their strong connection to people's emotions, feelings, and focus on future possibilities, intuitive, all while maintaining a structured approach, judging. Introverts, energized by time alone, needing solitude to recharge. So do you think that it bothered me being by myself? Nope. Okay, intuitive, focus on ideas, patterns, and future possibilities rather than concrete details. Well, I see the patterns. That's what I'm getting at. When I see the patterns of a person, I can live without you. It hurts to live without you, but I can live without you. And it hurt me. It hurt me so bad when me and my ex broke up that I just completely blocked it out. I never wanted to think of what it felt like to live without him. So I had to block it out. And I didn't get that feeling back until he passed away. And then I had to deal with the feeling. I had to deal with it then. And I think I'm doing pretty good with it. But it goes to say I can love you, but I can also live without you. I can live without your threats. I can live without your harassment. I can live without having to see you daily. I can live without a lot. I can adjust. Because the way I felt last night and Christmas and Thanksgiving, do y'all know how big of a relief that was? I felt so relieved. Like, I didn't have to put on no fake faces. I didn't have to change my voice up for anybody to make them feel comfortable. I didn't have to dummy myself down. I could just sit here and be me for the holidays. And it felt good. And all meanwhile, I'm still talking to people now. Don't think I'm not 100% isolated. I still have friends. I do. I talk to my friends often, and I don't go see them. They don't come see me, but we still talk, and that's enough stimulation for me to last me for a while. Judging. Let's see what else it says. Feeling. Make decisions based on personal values and empathy, focusing on harmony and others' needs. Yeah, I do look out for others a lot. And that's why it's so hard to just say, well, I'm done with you. I'm not talking to you anymore. I can't do that because that's not who I am. For me to say that would, trap who I am. That would trap my personality. I'll say I'll talk to you whenever I feel it's necessary, but just say, oh, I'm not speaking to that person no more. I don't want to ever put myself in that position again. I did that with a family member one time before, and for 10 years, I tried to avoid that person, and the whole 10 years, it was miserable, and I kept gaining weight and gaining weight. So I don't want to ever hide something from myself like that again. I did not feel good up until me and that person made back up, and we made up and didn't talk to each other. We only talked to each other in the passing, but at least we speak to each other. So you see, I can be a long distance friend. It don't bother me, but I don't need, if your friendship is gonna take away from me or try to change me into somebody who's mean, I don't want to be around you. That's why this one lady, she never could understand why you don't want to come around us. We had such a good time. No, you had such a good time. I was sitting there trying to keep my feelings calm because I want to tell you were doing wrong. It was just some things I just felt like the person was doing wrong, but to keep the peace, I didn't say nothing. And it was times when I felt like the person was interfering a lot in my relationship, but to keep the peace, I didn't want to say nothing. So I sucked up a lot of how I felt. Didn't really know how to release it. Didn't really at that point know how to use my personality type to work for my good. I didn't know how. I wanted friends because I didn't know who I was. I knew it was certain things I didn't like how people were doing, but at the same time, I'm a young girl. I'm in my early 20s, and I don't know how to tell people no at this time. I'm people pleasing now because I want people around me. I want to look greater than what I am. My ego is in the way. My pride is in the way. But now I don't have the ego. I don't have the pride. I'm just like, if that's who you are, if that's what you want to do, go ahead, go for it. I'm not stopping you, but just understand how you feel might not be how I feel. And if your feeling is trying to project onto me something that I should not be feeling, we can do this thing from a distance. And if we see each other in the past, and keep it short and clean, short and sweet. Okay, next thing, INFJ judging, prefer structure, organization, and closure in their lives. That's why I'm sitting here freaking out right now over this house. Organization. I don't like how I got my house right now, and I'm freaking out over it. And I think that might be one of the reasons why me and my ex got along really good. And I talk about him all the time because y'all got to understand, that's who I spent most of my years with. I mean, think about it. A young girl till I'm old. I'm almost 40. Whenever me and him finally, call it quits, I'm turning 40. Ooh, what was that? But he kept things organized. I mean, some people didn't like the way he organized here, but I liked it because I was like, he, with the pain I was in all the time, at least he got things done. And he was in pain too. I just didn't know he was in it like that. But yeah. So organization and closure in their lives. I look for closure on certain things. You know what the hardest part is? Is having to get closure for people who aren't deceased. That part was really hard. Having to grieve relationships for people who aren't deceased. See, at least with the ex, it was a grief with the relationship and his passing at the same time. So it was a valid passing. But when you have to grieve people who are still living, who just refuse to treat you right, who just always lie and slander and do sneaky, conniving things, try to sneak words in, word salads that try to make you feel, some type of way. That's like last night when I was talking to a certain person. I hear what you're saying. I also know what I have, but let me read between your line. You're not finna mess up my New Year's. Call me back January 2nd with that. I play word salad with you all day long. But if it's a special occasion, I'm not doing that. Getting to it though, when you have to grieve people who are living, that is some hard grief, because you grieve them, you grieve the relationship with them, you grieve everything you ever told them, the things they know about you. You grieve, just, you have to kill them. You have to kill the relationship. It has to die. It has to die while yet we still are living. And that's a hard thing. Parents who birth kids and you realize that your kids don't like you. And you could ask any person who is a mother of a narcissist. That mother can do all they can for that child, but that child will never like them. There's no amount of money you can give them. There's no amount of kindness you can do for them. It's wired in them that they don't like you, that they hate you, that they got to be against you. That's how demons work. Demons divide people. Okay, so that TV came on. Hold up. Let me see. Can I get this? It's not going to let me get it. I'm going to have to go cut it off, y'all, because I do not want... I don't know. I don't want... Can y'all hear that music? I'm asking y'all like you can talk back to me. Let me just cut the TV off because I don't want the sound thing. Oh, I'm getting hot. Okay, there it goes. I got it off. Yeah, but what I was saying is, you can love that child all day long to the top of your lungs. You can tell them you love them, hug on them. You can buy them the world, but that's not going to stop them from not liking you. If they're a narcissist, they still going to be a narcissist. They're going to get what they can get out of you, but they're still going to be a narcissist. So a wise parent has to realize, just like David did with his son in the Bible, David's son did not like him. David's son tried to take over his life, tried to rule over him. Tried to take from his own daddy, who was still treating him good, still treating him with kindness. And he didn't care. So he wants to go to war with his own parent. Okay? Well, that's how it is. If it happened back in Bible days, it's going to happen now. But David had to, at some point, realize this is war. This is real war. And he had to realize that his son was really out to hurt and harm him. And at that point, David had to protect himself at all costs from his own son. So imagine that's grieving, grieving the end of a parental relationship. You're going to always be the parent. You're going to always be the parent. You always going to have love for your child. But the original child you had, that's the one that you always had the love for. The original child is the one you're trying to reach. The child you're trying to get to come back to their senses. And that's the one that the devil is holding on to. The devil is holding that child hostage. And that child think they doing what's right. I look at them, it don't end either, because if that's how that child is, it's going to stay in that child. I look at relationships in my own family. And I see like the 90-some-year-old got a daughter, 70-some years old, about 80 years old. You know, they still at each other. They still the same. No. So basically what I'm saying is, at some point, parents who know, who see in the spirit, they know that they have to grieve the natural person because they have tried that spirit by the spirit. And they see that spirit is evil on that child. And so it's the hardest thing you can do is just say, okay, Lord, I give them to you. And you have to sit back and grieve that child while they living. That's a hard thing. Or you have to grieve that parent, because parents can be narcissistic too. And then friendships, you have to grieve. You know, these people aren't dead. These people are living, and you have to grieve that. You have to grieve them. And so going into 2026, you know, 2025 was about grieving the living because of how I was being treated and how I really just tried to make things work. But after a while, you know, people like me do have a high emotional tolerance for pain. But eventually, we come to ourselves and realize this is something God has to do. We still love you, but I can't let you take over a life. You know, you wrecking your life. I can't let you wreck mine too. In other words, that's what I'm trying to say. You already damaging your world. I can't let you up in mine and do the same thing. So I got to guard my heart against people I know and love. That's why it felt better to me. Because the first time in my life, I ain't have to do that. And why was it different? Because I had absolutely nobody here. I mean, no kids, nada. And it was a good feeling. It was a good feeling. I never had that opportunity to see what it really felt like. But now, I did not have to stress. I did not have to worry about nobody rushing me to cook. None of that. It was just a good moment. And I enjoy my New Year's. I enjoy my Christmas. I enjoy my Thanksgiving. Now we're in the aftermath of cleaning up because Miss Bowden wants her house to be nice. And, you know, I want to be able to tell when things are getting moved around in here without permission. Yeah, my mama always said, keep your house nice and tidy and clean because people will come in and you can't tell when they're doing stuff if you got stuff everywhere. And that's my thing. Whenever I get my cleaning up done, well, no, we'll talk about that another day because it's still New Year's and I don't want to go into that. I went too far off. But I had to go far off so y'all would know the reason why my New Year's and my holidays, happy holidays to everyone. The reason why my holidays were the best was because I was able to be my authentic self. I was able to let my guard down. No, not let my guard down. But I was able to relax in my own home. I didn't have to worry about nobody trying to sabotage nothing or, you know, just peace and quiet. It was the best. It was the best. Now, I don't know how things are going to go, you know, throughout the rest of this week, but I do know that was good. I think kids go back to school, though. Oh, no, they'll have to go back. Oh, I don't know when they go back to school. But anyways, that's it. And I'm finna get back to my cleaning up because I got some stuff I gotta do, y'all. I wasn't gonna do no cleaning up, but you know what? It's alright. I can clean up today because I feel like it. I feel like getting some of this stuff on out the way so tomorrow I can start off fresh. Okay, so peace, love, and happiness. And once again, Happy New Year's, everybody. Happy New Year's. Don't do the same thing you done last year if it didn't make you happy or, you know, if it doesn't add to your life, just let God have that situation. That's all you can do. And if you get anything from my story, just know that it's gonna be some people you gotta grieve. You're gonna see them every day. You're gonna be around them almost every day. But that relationship, if you want to live well and heal, you cannot let that relationship with that person take you down too. Just because they want to go down. Don't do it. All right, I'm out.